Welcome back to this latest episode of Japan's Top Business Interviews. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training. My special guest today is Yvette Pang, who is the CEO of an international logistics company here in Tokyo.
Thank you, Greg.
And we've not revealed the name because otherwise we've got to go through a lot of bureaucracy to get permission for you to talk to us today. That's why we're leaving that out. But just give people a little bit of a sense of what your company does, even though we're not revealing the name, but what's the business that you're in?
Well, we are an international with a global footprint logistic company. So mainly serving customers around the world with import, export, transportation, local warehousing, distribution, and others.
So it must be a bit of a tough time at the moment. It's actually, I've probably been super busy as everyone's cramming stuff into America, and now it's probably slowing down a bit, I guess.
It's, I say it's historical time. We never seen something like this.
No.
But since after the COVID, the world is changing.
Yeah. Well, tariffs, I don't know what's going to happen with tariffs. No one knows from day to day what's going to happen with tariffs, but I know certainly for people in the freight business, they don't know what to do. Anyway, so we live in interesting times. I think that's a Chinese curse from memory. May you live in interesting times. I seem to remember reading that somewhere, and that's where we are at the moment, aren't we? So, Yvette, give us a little bit of background on you, your career. I mean, you're not Japanese. I'm not Japanese. We're both here running companies. We've got a bit of a history, how we got here. Tell us a bit about how you got here. Where did you start your career? What have you been doing?
Well, I'm from Hong Kong. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. I spent a few years in the UK because of the history of Hong Kong. And
I'm studying or working?
Studying and working a little bit. But that was very early of my career time.
Did you do university there, or you did?
I did. I did an undergrad and postgraduate in the UK.
Oh, which one did you go to?
In Reading.
Reading?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I love that place.
Yes, I've never been to Reading. Yeah, sounds good.
And I have been with this company for 20 years.
How many?
20 years.
20 years. Does that mean you joined straight out of uni?
I'm not really. I'm not that young. I'm much more older. So I joined the company in Hong Kong.
Okay.
After a few years back from the UK. I start from Hong Kong. I spent years in China. And
this is for a previous company or this company?
This company, the same.
Okay, so you came out of uni in the UK, worked a bit in the UK, came back to Hong Kong, found your first big job, I guess. And you've been with the company right through?
Yes.
Rare case these days. You don't meet too many people who've been with the company right through. But obviously they sent you to China, work in Hong Kong, China.
I often got that question.
Where else did they send you?
Japan.
Oh, so it's basically Hong Kong, China, and Japan.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. You've had the three different countries as an experience. And so if I think about, Hong Kong culture and mainland culture, we call it mainland, should I call it mainland culture, are totally different for a start. And then both are totally different to Japan. So I'm just wondering, when you first came here to run it, that was how long ago did you take over here?
Well, thanks for asking this because that was a very interesting time. We decided to come with the company right before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the plan wasn't like that rush, but because of the pandemic, the country was closing. A lot of countries were closing. Japan was closing. I had 48 hours to decide whether I jump into the country or I wait until I don't know when.
Yeah, which would have been 4 years.
Yes. So I jumped in, and since then it's been 4 or 5 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. 48 hours to decide. Pack everything up and head to Japan.
Yeah, and I'm glad I made that decision. That was the right decision.
Well, probably lockdown in, I don't know about Hong Kong, but certainly lockdown in China was very, very strict. And I imagine Hong Kong was pretty strict too. So
exactly.
Japan was strict, but probably not as strict. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah,
a little bit
in
more
terms,
flexibility here than
in
theirs.
comparison, yes.
So that was probably a good choice from a lifestyle point of view.
Yeah.
So, you have got experience in the UK, you got experience in Hong Kong, you got experience in China, you come to Japan, you're the boss, you're the CEO. And so what things did you notice that were, for you, different, interesting between your previous leadership experiences and then taking over in Japan and leading here?
That's exactly why I say yes to Japan.
Oh, okay.
Born, raised Hong Kong, being Chinese, Hong Kong, mainland Chinese, is a culture that I'm familiar with. Japan is quite the opposite. It's a very unique culture. I think we can all agree with that. And
had you visited before you came?
I did.
Holiday? That time?
For holidays.
Yeah.
Everyone came for holidays.
That's right. Japan's a very big, important destination for leisure.
Yeah. And being a woman, non-Japanese, leading an organization in Japan, that is something attractive to me.
Okay, well, let's flip that around. For a lot of people, that may be unattractive. It may be, it's hard enough being a leader anywhere as a woman. So why am I going to go to Japan with this male-dominated society and hierarchy and all the guys are grey hair at the top, and how am I going to make a business there? I'm not even, I'm Chinese as well, and I'm not coming from America. So why was that attractive? What was the stimulation there?
It's different. It's different. There is no bad thing into it. I will experience the entire environment, business, etiquette, customer are all different. I need that.
Oh, why do you need that?
That's why I could be spending so many years in the same platform. Right. It's all the new element. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's like a stimuli. Like
so
something
obviously
new.
A woman who thrives on challenge, I would say.
Something new, yes.
Yes.
It wasn't easy, especially during the time I started during the pandemic. But it's also the time I've been able to build the bonding with the team here.
I suppose, I don't know about your company, but I suppose, what month did you arrive? What year was it, 2020 you arrived?
2020 March.
March, oh my God. Okay, so probably you arrived here and everyone's at home. Everyone's working from home.
Indeed. That was a start, not 100% working from home yet. So we are spending like maybe a day or two.
But predominantly not in the office. Like in a normal situation, you come in, everyone's there, you're there. You spend a lot of time physically together. You're getting that melding, the usual thing. But in this case, no. You're a couple of days a week and they're at home a couple of days a week. That's even more difficult as a leader, I think.
But pandemic to me is, of course, is global health crisis. It was not a good thing.
No.
But it shocked the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely.
It changed everybody's working behavior.
Well, before you got here, I remember when end of 2019, early 2020, Corona, the coronavirus, that's just another, Asian flu or bird flu or something. SARS. Yeah, we didn't get that last time. That's going to be over there in China, Hong Kong. It's not coming to Japan. We'll be okay, is what everybody was probably thinking, including me. And then we realized this is not the same. And it took a while. I remember in February, I was on a call with our guys in the States, our headquarters in the States. And they've been talking to our colleagues in China, right? And that's when they said, no, this is not SARS. This is really, really serious. And everyone better take it really seriously. And that's when we went, oh, right. It's not bird flu, it's not SARS. We better really. And that's we went home, in the end of February. So, okay, that's it. Everyone worked from home straight away. So yeah, that was not something we'd anticipated would come. So
that's exactly helped me in a way.
How did it help you? Tell us about that.
If we are in a normal situation, everyone expects the same from the leader. Now it's a completely new. No one,
No roadmap.
yes,
No
no
rules.
one, no one understand what's happening.
Mm.
With me as a new leader, regardless my background, my gender, my experience, that help in a way because people are more eye-opening to everything. No one will, before pandemic, no one will have thought about the complete international travel is stopped.
Mm.
Now of course, we've been through that, and again, it's once in a lifetime, I think. So
Hopefully.
it did help me on onboarding in the country.
I guess you're right, because in that case, as you say, it's not about anything else but how we deal with this day to day, the decisions we take day to day, how we work because you're a national company, particularly moving stuff around, right? How we work with the other elements of the company internationally, which you're plugged into, of course, having run operations already in other countries. So that's interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Japan is a very unique, it's a beautiful country.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of my motivation to come. It still have been.
Although, for me, I was here during the earthquake in 95, 2011, and even, both cases, you notice that Japanese society likes stability, order, predictability. And when you have major natural catastrophes like those things, and Corona, you could call it a natural catastrophe as well, Japanese system is not well geared up for that irregular, unpredictable occasion. And crisis management in Japan, I think, is not very well developed. Other parts are extremely well developed. That's one part of the culture here which is not well developed. I think Australians, I'm going for Australia, Australians are good at crisis management. They're very good at it. For whatever reason, they're just good at it. Here, not so much. So I think in that sense, maybe someone who's not Japanese, possibly, would be a better person to be leading during a crisis, maybe, because, you're coming from a different background, perhaps more experience with crisis dealing, than maybe local staff.
I would say so. I would say so. And there is no right or wrong, but I won't disagree. Japanese are brought up and they are programmed to function with orders. With a lot of uncertainty, that is maybe not their best talent.
Not exactly like Hong Kong, which is not order. It's chaos every time.
Yeah, we live in the chaos. That's why I said I love coming. I think if I didn't take it, I would regret. But I'm not saying it's easy. It's still every day. Everyday discrimination, everyday cultural shock. The way we do business are very different.
So what did you notice? I mean, apart from the fact apart from COVID, that's one big thing. We just put COVID over there. But just generally speaking, as a leader coming into Japan, just what things struck you as, this is quite different, or I didn't expect that, or this is great, or what things occurred to you?
I would say Japan has an image to the world that we are very advanced. We're living in the 2050.
High-tech country.
High-tech country, everything so automated. When I land and I work on the day-to-day business, it's not the case.
Now, could you please send the facts?
Exactly.
Still.
And then fill the form. And then the stamp, the handle, and everything with the banks. So this is a bit shocking to me. Even though I understand the government and the organization are pushing hard to digitalization, still today, in today's business world, with the government, there's still a lot of manual paperwork. So this is...
And manual systems to back up that paperwork as well, right?
Indeed,
and lots of people to do it as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. What other things did you notice about, particularly from a leading point of view, leading people? What was different for you or challenging or easy for you?
I think that's also echo to what we just said about managing uncertainty and crisis. I found the differences, major differences is Japanese team, they need more time to prepare. But once it's confirmed and start executing, they're perfect. From outside of Japan, the culture is, especially from where I'm from Hong Kong, Chinese. We spend less time to prepare. Let me put it this way, maybe if we are 70%, 80% prepared, we go.
Okay?
We
fix it on the way through.
Yes, we are just fixes on the way. Japanese, they need 200% prepare.
Yeah.
They have all the options. What if this go wrong? What if that go wrong? Attention to detail, the perfectionism. But once they execute, it's really every single bit according to the plan. That's what I'm amazed. But that's a major change in leadership. The way of coaching or driving the business is very, very different.
And one thing too, I think for us as foreigners here is that when we come in and we see things done in a certain way that looks wrong, frankly, it just looks wrong. Like, why does it take so long to get this done? I mean, it shouldn't take that long. Why is this process so complicated? And And then often we find the reason for that is coming from the client. The client wants a fax. The client wants a piece of paper with a hunk on it, and they want this paper and then they want that paper. And it's very, 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 I think, determined by the buying side. Most Japanese companies are very keen to follow what the client wants and keep the client happy. So they don't try and improve their side of systems. They keep stuck with the old systems of the client. That's also, a problem.
Yeah.
You think your people are not doing it right, but they're doing it perfectly for what the client wants.
Yeah, in the Japanese, they say client is the king.
Wow, yeah. God, actually.
Yeah, it's the God.
God, not even king. Above the king,
That's
God.
also part of my ambition to guide them to see more partnership relationship with the customer. Of course, we can't change the world. I'm not here. I couldn't change the way. And
that difference, when you see, for you and I, we understand when you use that word partnership, I immediately get it. But someone who may not know Japan, they would think, partnership, what's the big deal, right? But you're actually asking to go from a servant, relationship, much lower in the hierarchy.
Servant, sometimes slave.
Slave, yes, servant/slave, to partner, which sounds a bit more equal. So in this hierarchical culture, God level buyer, lowly salesperson, partner, that's a very presumptuous
thank you for
positioning.
Thank you for clarifying that point, because I'm speaking from the Japanese point of view. Indeed. And that's a long way to go. And so as educating the customer or our business partner, it is not done like this. It's a journey of education, I would say.
How many people in the team altogether?
Around 50.
50.
In Japan.
Probably many of those have been in the company a long time, I guess.
I say our average service of year around 10.
Quite well established, right? So they're, been doing things the same way for a long time. It's very hard to get people to switch gears and change it to something else. So in terms of you come in, it's COVID, it's just the whole world's on fire, basically. Everything's disarranged. But at some point, things start to, I guess, semi calm down. And you start to lead the team, and it gets out of sort of really urgent crisis mode to just crisis mode, and then some sort of semi-crisis mode. It sort of calms down a bit and becomes, this is where we are. We all adjust to it. So when you were leading people as a newcomer, how did you use this crisis to help you to become the accepted leader?
I think in the Japanese culture, again, that's how they brought up and program. They are very good at following orders. When there is situation like we need to identify the solution or the way we go, if I ask them what is our option, what is our choice, that seems to be one of the most difficult question for them. Because they would expect the answer from you as a leader, and I follow.
Let me tell you, what you need to do is much better than what should we do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But asking question initiate their thinking. At the beginning, or I say at the beginning of the first even couple of years, nothing coming out from them. Basically, they couldn't really work around with the word option. I take orders. Why are you asking me option? But my aim is to create first little leaders amongst the team. And then the education, communication cascade to everyone in the organization.
Here's a question. It's often noted that Japan is very group-oriented and very good working as a group. I'm wondering, did you try not so much one-on-one with options, but to get them as a team to spend time together brainstorming collectively options for you? Did you try that, or were you just trying it one-on-one?
I mixed with both.
Mixed with both. So even as a group, they weren't coming up with any particular options?
At the beginning, not really.
Not really.
I think
interesting.
I say they have the idea, but they will not speak out. They will not speak up. They worry there is obstacle. They worry their comment, their ideas is not good enough.
Okay. In front of each other.
In front of each other. That's the peer pressure.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I mix the communication with one-on-one, regular one-on-one, and then group meeting, brainstorming exercise, and sometimes adding on some casual gathering, have a drink to build the bond amongst them. So it's still ongoing, but I see a lot of voices now, which is good.
Yeah, we have a particular brainstorming methodology we developed for Japan, specifically because it takes out gender, it takes out age hierarchy, it takes out status hierarchy, it takes out the hierarchy of who joined the company in what year, that type, because all those things in Japan count, to try and enable people to get their ideas out. Because as you say, they're holding themselves back. In Japanese, we call it endure. They're being considerate of others to the point of restricting themselves and not contributing because they think somebody else should be the one doing it, not them. They haven't earned the right to speak up. So, yeah, we came up with a method to counter that because it is a really big hindrance to getting ideas out. So, in terms of getting people to become engaged in the business, to follow you as a leader, what things did you find worked well for you?
I think company often ask the employee, the staff, that the company want to go there, the company vision, and we have mission. Yes, that's all good because that draft the direction as an international company for us. But most often we forget, as an employee, we are also an employee, where you are on the hierarchy, what is it in for you? What does it mean for me? Not only a compensation, but on the day-to-day job. I believe putting a meaning to the direction we are going, down to employees, each and everyone in the organization, what does it mean for them? That's more important because that will turn into a motivation.
So for example, is the vision, mission, values, is that cascading down globally from headquarters, or do you have a local version here under the umbrella? Like, you can't have something that's opposing. Your vision and the corporate vision are completely cross purposes. You'll be fired. But presuming it's within the scope, the umbrella scope of generally, directionally, where the organization's going, you might have a Japanese version. Do you have a Japanese version, or you use the global version?
Well, I use a global version, but the interpretation with the team together.
Right, okay.
And it's always the question for them, why? I see not only the Japanese, but when I was managing the Hong Kong and Chinese, there is always missing a why to the employee. Especially logistics is a people business. So we deliver the service to our client. So we are not selling a product, we're not selling a mobile phone. So the people is our assets. So every day, if they would understand and put a meaning to their day-to-day job, that's make a difference on what they do every day.
So how does that work? I mean, we're a training company, right? So often we're in the company's offices, and they're on the wall, beautifully framed, protective glass, beautiful paper, vision, mission, values, right? So I'm teaching a class, they're all middle managers, maybe 20, 30 of them. So I take it off the wall, I turn it around, I put it down, I say, okay, what's the vision of the company? What's the mission? Out of 30 of them, out of 5, usually there's 5 values, 30 of them will usually get 2 or possibly 3 of the values. So it says to me that someone sitting on the top floors of this company and the executive floor, believing that everyone down the bottom understands the vision and mission and values of this company, when clearly, if they can't remember it, how do you live it? So how do you deal with that here? How do you get that into them to understand the why, the vision, why the mission, why the values? How do you have brainstorming sessions on this? Do you have town halls on this? Do you have some sort of daily reflection on this? What have you found works?
We do have town halls, regular meeting, or briefing, debriefing, but I found it more touching the heart is when there is a business case or when there is dealing with the customer, we translate that value, mission, purpose onto the case. I had just a wonderful, successful case with a customer. They were pretty much had a last minute problem with their production, and we finally been able to make a plan with them, the team. And because of the trust, and often trust is one of the major value of the company, we didn't have finalized all the pricing, but because of the trust from the client and we trust the client as well, we arrange everything based on the trust. Otherwise, we need to sign all the contract, have the hand call, exchange paperwork. So case like this, the postmortem with the team and with the customer, we often communicate with the words from our mission, vision, value. Then we'll be more memorable and meaningful to the team. One-way street of education is needed, but it's not most efficient most of the time. It's the same for us when we are learning, when we are able to apply and make it more practical, then it's how we live with it.
So it's great to getting the people to get a sense of the why. Anything else you found was useful getting people engaged to follow you as the leader?
I think we need to be the example. I believe we walk the talk, not talk the talk. And it's often more work on oneself, myself. And I believe is do not expect the result come out in the time frame. And there is some people, they get it at the end, or they take shorter time to get it, longer time to get it, and some they don't. And I have to say, personally, I'm a perfectionism. But I remind myself when it puts to work or business or my team, it won't work like that.
Although, you know, Japanese love perfectionism, you know, very
True.
detail-oriented, you know. So being a perfectionist in Japan is a good combination, I think.
Indeed.
If you're easygoing and you don't care about the detail, that would be a problem, I think, with the Japanese team. They wouldn't think you were serious. They wouldn't think you were serious about your work, or you're not taking this job seriously. You're just very laissez-faire about it. You're just, you know, ikagen, they say in Japanese. You're very too easygoing, not serious. So in terms of getting ideas from team, you mentioned before that with the brainstorming and coming up with the options and ideas, that it was hard to get them to contribute. But what about getting ideas from people? I'm sure someone like you, with your experience, multinational experience, long-term in the company, you've seen a lot of things come and go in your business. You've probably got lots and lots of ideas. But this is Japan. And what have you found works well to get ideas out of the Japanese team?
Well, usually at the beginning of the period I spent here, the idea are more vague. It's more like they had a responsibility to reply to you more than it's an idea. But I let them work on that. If they think that's the best option for us for now, go ahead. As a leader, we need to be able to identify some kind of like collateral damage, should I put it this way? We know, or we had experience before, that may not work. But if that is within a control or within a manageable risk, let them try. Just let them try. We need to have that courage.
Now, the counterpoint to that is, what happens when it doesn't work, and what happens when they fail? How is that treated?
Because that is their idea. So the ownership that they build from within is much stronger. And they will remember, and they will not make the same mistake.
If you want to be successful as a leader, do the Leadership Training for Managers course. All companies need people who can both manage and lead. Leading people screams out for real skills in communication, dealing with all different types of people, being excellent at innovation, planning, delegation, handling mistakes, doing performance reviews really well, and inspiring and motivating the team. Do the Leadership Training for Managers course now in either Japanese or English. Leading is easy. Getting people to follow is the hard part. That is a great quote from Yogi Berra. Surprisingly, Despite the complexities of leading here in Japan, everyone has to work it out by themselves. Foreign leaders want practical, applicable, expert advice. This is now available for the first time in history. Grab your copy of Japan Leadership Mastery on Amazon today and avoid the mystery, trial and error, especially the errors. Now, my point there is, how do you treat it? Like, yes, it was their ownership and they learnt something, which is how we all progress. We learn through our mistakes. My point is this: sometimes companies, leaders will say, be creative, try new things. They try new things. Doesn't work. Whack over the head. You made a mistake. That didn't work. And they, criticize them. So people get confused. You want me to experiment? I experiment. I get hit for it because it didn't work perfectly. So what I'm getting at is, where you give them the freedom to try things, and then if it doesn't work, what are you saying to them? How are you communicating to them about that failure? Are you saying, you screwed it up, you didn't make the right choices, look at that, I told you it wasn't going to work, dummy, what are you thinking? Or how do you treat it?
It's about we.
Okay.
We try,
mm-hmm.
It didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
We need to think an option, alternative.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about we. When our language is actually how we program our mindset, right? So if we say you, me, I'm sitting on the opposite side. If we say we, then we are on the same side. So I'm very careful. I'm very careful with my words, because it's not only my voice to them, it's also my voice to myself. The choice of our word, the way we explain is most critical. And I often seen this more with the new generation, the younger generation than me. I think my generation is, we get a lot of criticism and you make a mistake. But the younger, newer generation, it doesn't really work like that. It's I born and I educate in a generation without the internet. So it's different.
And what about trust? You talked about trust before with the company and the client, of course, and I think, I'm sure trust is important everywhere in the world. I'm sure it's important in China. I'm sure it's important in Hong Kong. But somehow, to me, I always feel Japan has an extra dimension of importance on trust, and they really value it much higher, I think, in many ways. So what have you found works well to build trust with the team?
I would say I would agree, because it's a much deeper. Yes, you're right. Chinese also, trust is important in relationship, business environment. But amongst the Japanese, the trust has a deeper meaning. Like, I know you have my back. It's kind of like, it's not only on the surface of it. And it's often through the time, is how many journey, how many cases, how many failure they go with you. So I'm still learning every day. I'm still working on it every day. But I see that we have more small leader, small ambassador in the organization, which helps to upgrade the whole team together.
So if we think about culture, there's the global culture, there's Japan culture, and then there's Yvette culture. You run this organization the way you like to run it, according to your values and your ideas, but you have to fit in with Japanese culture, because if you don't fit in with Japanese culture, you get nothing done. And you have to fit in with corporate culture. If you don't fit in with corporate culture, they'll fire you. So it's not you have complete freedom to do what the hell you like. It's not like that. But you do have a lot of freedom to run this show here the way you want to run it. So what have you found works well to build a culture that you want?
I like to have a culture that we are going for with a common goal, common objective. It's not about Yvette. It's not only about the company. Of course, the company direction and purpose is important, but I need to involve them together.
How do you do that?
Otherwise, it will be like me. And I say I come from a different background as a female leader. That helps because
why does that help?
Because it's not the normal way, the Japanese normal way.
Oh, I see what you mean. So they're not seeing, gaijin, foreigner, therefore it's different, or they're not saying, woman, therefore it's different, because you're a combination of both of those things.
Yes.
They can't pick out which is the woman bit and which is the gaijin bit. It's different here.
And I'm not Caucasian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can be part of them in a picture. It's like that.
Yeah.
So I think that works. That helped me in a way. But again, I think today's leader, we need to practice more about empathy.
Okay. And how do we do that?
That is more critical nowadays with the new generation, with a world after corona, after pandemic, after major health crisis. And always it's easy to say than done. But again, I'm building a team. They have the faith and trust in me. If they make a mistake, if they mess up something, that I will protect and I will help together to make it right. And I'm believing my management, my boss as well, that if anything go wrong, I have his back. So the trust is not only one person to one person. It's a change in any organization. So back to empathy, this is, again, it's not a speech that I can just explain and they understand. It's like in any friendship, when we have friends, we go for up and downs. It's a stronger friendship. So it's the same relationship with the team here. I don't use family because I do not see working environment. A company is like a family. That's not the same. A company is a champion team. We want to achieve something together successful. A family is a safe zone. They want you to be successful, but in case anything happens, anything goes wrong, it's still a safe zone. So the motivation or the push factor is different. People often say, "Oh yeah, we're one big family." Yeah, it's not really what I thought.
And other aspects of culture that you found, like you're going to create a culture in the company that you like. Any other tools or any other things you found works well to build a culture that you like?
I think we're lucky in a people business. And that helps us to connect each other because of the nature of the job anyway. And not only in Japan, because we are a logistic company, so we need to work with our network in other country. That is a bigger connection with the team. And the culture is not a definite. It's changing, I say. It's a changing culture. Again, the common direction is important, but the culture or the day-to-day, the people change as well.
That's true. That's
They
true.
change as well.
That's
So
true.
it's important. I think to me, it's most important is the people. When we treat each other with respect, we try to think from each other's shoes, not only them thinking about me, but it's for me it's a bigger accountability for me to take care of them. For those who will feel it, for those who appreciate, they will. I'm not saying everyone does at the end, but that's part of the job. That's what I sign up for.
But what about someone rang you up and said, "Hey, Yvette, I'm being sent to Japan to run the organization there. You've been in Japan all these years. You know about leading in Japan. Give me some advice to be an effective leader in Japan." What advice would you give them?
Well, I say to expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected, okay. Why do you say that?
Put aside the framework we have outside Japan.
Okay.
The Western education, the way we work, and see everything as an opportunity. Otherwise, it's normal for a person when we had a problem, when we had a challenge, an obstacle, we go negative. Again, back to what I believe, the major work is on the leader. And the reason I say I expect the unexpected, because most of the time it's unexpected. But the beauty of it, the beauty of Japan is why we are so a unique nation. Why it's so beautiful everywhere. People respect each other. The roads are so clean because the input is different. If we expect the same input as the Western world, we will have the same outcome of the Western world.
That's a good point.
It is not. So, yeah.
What other advice would you give them?
Put down the crown that the hierarchy gives to you.
Okay.
I understand title is important in Japan. But especially when start of the journey, we need to listen to the team. And the combination of Japanese, they all come from different backgrounds as well. Yes, they have a quite similar background, culture, but still, different people think differently. So
50 people here, I'm sure got lots of variety of styles.
Yes, yeah, different nation, different nationality as well. So listen to each of them. Try to listen to each of them, not only to your direct reporting line, but everyone. Talk to everyone in the organization.
How often? Just at the start? Just talk to everybody at the beginning and that's basically it? Or are you thinking of something more regular?
I think this is a continuous effort. This is a continuous effort. And it's not have to be formulated like a meeting. It could be just a chart on the chart boards or just a call, but talk to everyone every day.
Every day.
Every day. You don't need to talk to the same person every day.
Oh, I see.
But
talk to someone every day.
Someone every day.
Okay. What else?
Yeah.
What else? What other advice would you give them?
I say they try to organize more collateral gathering, both work and non-work.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the trust among the Japanese is also the group that they feel belongs to.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the belongings to the team, to the company, to your logo,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to what you represent
Mm-hmm.
For the company and what you represent for them.
Mm.
And I see every time coming out from gathering or cross-team
Mm-hmm.
business review or meeting, that helps to improve the belongings of the group.
Mm. Okay. So, should they learn Japanese?
I say it's not mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have.
Mm.
Good to have. It's a good tool, of course. It's a tool to communicate. The basic we need to understand, but sometimes, especially when we are coming from a foreign country,
Mm-hmm.
the way we want to explain things is not the same way they structure in Japanese language.
Yeah.
It's often very opposite.
Mm.
So the learning Japanese is for talking small talk with them, for me,
Mm-hmm.
but also speaking in English as since we're an international company, so we work on emails, everything in English.
Mm-hmm.
That also helps them to improve the work.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the language, since you asked, the language is exactly why their mindset is like that.
Mm.
It's part of the major reason.
Mm.
Because when I have something in mind in Chinese or English, I ask my Japanese teacher to translate exactly in Japanese. It's often the meaning or the strongness is much more softened because it's a much softer language.
Indirect. Circuitous language, yeah. Although Chinese is very flowery, I mean, Chinese, referring to literature and it's poems and books and historical characters, and it's very flowery language, Chinese too, but it's got that basic, construct, subject, verb, object, so it's pretty straightforward. Whereas Japanese, is that the way the verb is coming at the end, and it's just not as easy to understand where we're going with the conversation. And then it can be quite confusing sometimes.
Yeah, that's exactly why I would say it's good to have the Japanese language skill, but running a business, running an international business, if you want to change a bit of mindset along the way, we still need to communicate in a foreign language.
What would be your definition of leadership?
Well, my definition of leadership, I say, is creating a team that work towards a common objective for to get result. Result, not only business result, but result of any direction or any objective we are going for. So, and in the past, especially in the Japanese world, leadership is authority. But I see that's changing in Japan as well. And we've seen much more, even in the Japanese company, like Japan Airlines, female CEO, from the ground, as she was the air hostess on the plane. work towards the CEO. I think this is we need more story like this.
Well, let's talk about women in leadership then. There are lots of women in Japan who could become leaders but choose not to become leaders. And often that's, they've got aging parents or young kids and they need to put their time there. Or it's often said that in Japan, if a man has only 60% of the requirements or 70% of the requirements for a job, he has no hesitation in raising his hand to take on the job. Whereas a woman, she has 90% or 95%, she feels comfortable to raise her hand. So there's also a type of exclusion themselves from not putting themselves forward to try. And so we don't have that many female leaders in Japan. That Jiao is a great exception, which proves the rule in a way. But what would you say to women in Japan who could become leaders? What advice would you give them to succeed in becoming a leader in Japan?
Ask for help.
Who do they ask?
Ask for help because the reason I say this is, if you think about the tertiary education ratio in Japan, it's considered very high amongst the world. It's over 95%. Let me put half is male, half is female for the sake of discussion. And once they get onto the business environment, start their career, few years, get married, have kids, done. So we lost half of the fully high educated workforce. So this is already a society issue, okay? And we are an aging population. And the society is not helping. I understand because of the history, tradition. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's the history. It's where we are. It's how we support the woman in career and at home. Because for women in Japan, often they are expected to take care of the house, the kids, the parents-in-law.
Yep, the whole world.
It's a big job.
It's a big job. Right?
It's no holiday. It's the biggest job in the world, being a mother. So we need to help them. And that's why I support my team here more, a flexible hour, work from home. It's not easy for the team to back up, but once they see this, they know that they also will be backed up or supported when they need it at the time. So I'm saying ask for help, not only to the manager, the company, but ask for help in your family, your husband. Again, it's not, we can't change, we can't move Rome in one day, but I think the society, also the government is also responsible to support more women in terms of nursery support, in terms of social support. From where I come from, the mother is expected to work after 3 months of paternity and maternity leave. 3 months. The reason is we have much stronger nursery system, much cheaper. And also we have the maid in Hong Kong that they live with you and the cost is affordable. So they could take care of the housework and the kids. But in Japan, it's not the case.
No.
So I think it's a shared responsibility of the employer, the company, any organization here, and also the society. So I say the advice is ask for help, ask for help, ask for everyone, ask family, your boss, your community, because it's simply not possible to have develop a career on top of being a mother and then taking care of the house. And the husband also need to understand that, and we need more cases, showcases in the society to prove this is better for the family, better for the kids as well. Because when the kids see the mother is also a successful, leading career woman, that's helped them to grow.
Any other advice for women become leaders in Japan?
I think we need to, I would say we need to overcome the gender differences.
Okay. How do we do that?
And it's also for the woman that most of the time, because of the tradition, most of the time after they graduate, they expect they work few years and then turn to be a full-time mom. Is the mindset, the first thing is the mindset whether they should ask themselves whether they want to be a career woman. Because it's not for everyone.
No.
Some of them, they may be just a perfect housewife. Again, it's the hardest job to me. Housewife is the hardest job, harder than being a leader or a CEO in any company. But I think first question is you need to ask yourself whether this is for you, or because the peer pressure, the next door is not getting married yet, so she developed a good career path. That's why you want it, or you really want it, because it's a lot of sacrifice. So ask for help, ask yourself, ask for help, and again, talk to the family because you need the support.
Well, Yvette, thank you. It's been great having this chat.
Thank you for having me.
Tumultuous time in global trade at the moment, which is your core business. So I'm sure it's been very character building with all these changes with tariffs going on at the moment. But hopefully we'll come out of this and we'll stabilise and
we will.
We'll succeed. So please join us again for our next episode of Japan's top business interviews.